Analytics have taken over the game. Anytime you make a decision, you want to have as much information as you possibly can, right? If you say no to that, then you're not doing your job. But I also think you can't measure everything. Joe Torre used to always say, you can't measure a person's heartbeat. People have heartbeats, right? You can't necessarily just take a player from Milwaukee and plug him into New York and think the same thing's going to happen. There's more pressures, you know? You have to get to know people. So analytics can't measure everything, and I think the game has gotten very, very analytical.
Derek Jeter recently came out in an interview where he talked about how the state of baseball nowadays is purely analytical and how he wishes it could go back to just being more of, you know, in a way, like street smart, being like, or just common sense and being like, all right, if we bring a guy from Milwaukee, you know, over to New York, yes, the analytics may show that he's going to do a lot better in New York, but you got to look at the factor of pressure, different type of pressure when it comes to Milwaukee versus New York. Being able to know the difference between, all right, if we bring this guy over, he might choke because so-and-so and so-and-so, this person knows him personally. Let's get to talk to that person and let's see how he feels like about his friend or whatever. I don't know, just some other creative way than just analytics at the end of the day. And if anyone can do it, I feel like Derek Jeter could bring that over to the Yankees. And yes, I know a lot of people have been saying, why not have Derek Jeter be the next GM and all this stuff. But realistically, I don't know if Derek Jeter would want to be a GM for the Yankees. I think he's always wanted to have ownership of a certain team. He did that with the Marlins, and it was kind of like a messy ending at the end of the day where he stepped down. Supposedly, from his point of view, was because, you know, the Marlins just didn't want to win, and he wasn't settling on a team that didn't want to win right now. Could Derek Jeter come to the Yankees in some form of capacity? If you ask me, I would want him to be in some form, some capacity, be within the Yankees front office. Now, will it happen? I don't know. I don't think so. I think Derek Jeter is just very, very comfortable with his family, with everyone, the life he's built, and now he's enjoying it. But if he ever were, I think with the Yankees in some form and capacity, we need him in order to step in and talk with Brian Cashman, talk with front office people, and get them in the right mindset. And if he can have some sort of influence, even better. And if he's looking for a job later on, I feel like Hal should be looking at a Derek Jeter to have him be an assistant, or not have to be in New York all the time, but just be with the team in some sort of capacity as a consultant to help them out going forward. Because the mentality of winning several championships with the Yankees is a different perspective and point of view, something that we're missing nowadays. We don't have really anyone on the team that's won a championship with the Yankees. Brett Gardner, I believe he was like the last one. And so that team winning mindset is gone. You don't even have Jorge Posada, Andy Pettitte, even Reggie Jackson is with the Astros working with him. And it's like, are you kidding me? Like, these are some of the guys that we should be having on the team. And maybe some of them are consulting in spring training or whatever sometimes. But last time I heard, Jorge Posada's like with the Marlins, like with Derek Jeter, Don Mattingly's over there. I mean, he used to be over there. All those guys were in a whole different area. Why don't we retain some of these guys and have them work with the Yankees, right? Willie Randolph, all these different names that you can think of. Why aren't they with the organization in some form or capacity to help guide it towards another winning atmosphere? Because right now, the winning atmosphere isn't there. It isn't. And it's going to have to take a huge haul in order for the Yankees to get that winning mentality. And the only other way I could really think of that happening is bringing another winning mentality type of player over to the Yankees, which, you know, Anthony Rizzo from the Chicago Cubs, they won it once. I mean, that's pretty good. And he was a huge impact player, and that's great. But we need more of those type of players to help mentor, teach the team, and everything like that. And Derek Jeter could be one of those type of guys that you would want a Derek Jeter on your team in the clubhouse, helping these guys out, mentoring them, advising them. Like, if you ever listen to Derek Jeter's post-career interviews, you hear him and you're like, damn, this guy is still like competing in his head. Like, this guy still wants to win. And the way he answers and does everything, he's on it. And that's the type of mentality that the Yankees are missing nowadays. And if there's any way in the future that we can have a Derek Jeter in the front office, I say bring it on. Even if it's just a part-time thing, just something. Derek Jeter has said it that he's gonna be seeing the fans more often, right? When they asked him about that, they said, "Hey, does that mean you're gonna be working with the Yankees now?" And he totally shut that down, and he said, no, I'm not going to be working with the Yankees. And a lot of sources, inside sources, say, like, no, there's zero chance, zero offers, none of that. So the possibility of him coming and working with the Yankees right now is zero. But would I want it to happen? And do I think it's a smart move that Hal should be thinking about? Yeah, I'm really curious to see what you guys think if you want to see a Derek Jeter in some sort of capacity with the organization. Or do you dislike Derek Jeter because of how he handled the Miami Marlins and how that ended up messy, and you don't want that showing up? Or do you just want to keep that nice image of Derek Jeter as the player, his storybook ending, and all of that? For me, I say bring him in, have him as a consultant, do something, some form of capacity. It doesn't have to be a GM or any of that. That's a huge asking for him. But if we can have him in some form, I say why not? Bring the champion back.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, go.